welcome back. Before we get to the conversation around national security, let's bring in our colleague, Bukola Oriire, who is our correspondent in your state. Of course, Oriire has been in the news because of the Oriire incident. Bukola, good morning and welcome to the morning brief. I don't know where you are, so maybe you tell us exactly where you are. And what's the latest update just hours or days after these children have been released? Because there's been a back and forth in terms of rhetorics between the governor and the Senate yesterday has called for the international community to join in the investigation because maybe suspect something fishy.
Thank you, Geoffrey. Good morning. It's actually been a journey up to this point. It's in the public domain. Everybody knows what's been going on. 56 days in captivity, and now they are free. From what the governor said, even before those victims got freed, we've been having a lot of back and forth. Sabotage, suspicions of sabotage here and there. There's been a lot of innuendos, you know. I think it's one of the reasons why the governor said what he said, that he who wants to come to equity must do so with clean hands. So inviting the international community who are actually not in the picture here, who are independent of everything going on, to come and investigate and tell us, perhaps, maybe that will shed more light into the root causes of the problems that we're really having in the country. The other bloc is saying it's detrimental to our security architecture because of the truth. Every arsenal that should be deployed was deployed to actually free these pupils and their teachers. Sadly, we lost some people. We had casualties. But then, on the whole, it's a victory, not just for your state, but for Nigeria itself. And I think this is perhaps, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, this is perhaps the first time that we're having a synergy across the board, you know, involving all area of the military and the paramilitary, everybody coming to work as one, you know, without minding where anybody comes from. Everybody saw it as a national tragedy if those people were not freed, and they worked in accordance with that. So this back and forth between, well, the State House of Assembly also put their weight behind Governor Makinde yesterday, that they stand by him and his stance on this issue. The National Assembly is saying otherwise. Well, the days ahead will actually tell us what will happen in this space, but I'm sure it's a developing story, and it's not going to quiet down just yet.
Well, very apt trail from beginning to where we are currently on the matter of the Oriire abduction and eventual release. But perhaps this is also good time to find out how the pupils and their teachers are doing. There are quite a number of reports about, you know, the commitment of the government to their welfare. But we're also hearing that parents may not, as a result of, you know, naturally the fear of security, return their children to that school. So what updates do you have for us as far as that is concerned, and developments around Oriire, the school, and security in that area, and of course updates about the pupils and their teachers?
Thank you very much. Any normal person will know that these are valid concerns, especially on the part of parents and even the pupils themselves. It's hard to say right now how hard they were impacted, on how much rehabilitation will have to be carried out on every single one of them. The impact it has had on them, nobody knows. But the days ahead will, you know, tell us that. But as far as their physical health is concerned, 31 of them, comprising 25 children and the 6 adults, I beg your pardon, making 31 people, have already been discharged yesterday to their parents, to their loved ones. They're holding on to 8 of them. I spoke with the CMD of LAUTECH last night, Professor Lakulei, who told us that the children who are still in their care are being observed, not because they have very serious issues, but because they have to be sure that they're stable before, they're let go. And this concern of rehabilitating them and doing therapy for them is something that I have asked Professor Alonge yesterday, who was actually in charge of them before he handed over to LAUTECH. And he did tell me that the Oyo State government has made a lot of, has strategized, on how these people will have therapy going forward. It will be difficult because of where their, their habitats are across 3 communities. We have Yawata, Ahorodada, and Esiele. Coming from that place to LAUTECH or wherever they would be receiving care would be a Herculean task for them. Apart from the fact that there are security concerns, it's a very far distance. So he told me that the government has made arrangements to be transporting these caregivers, the therapists, the psychologists, to them where they are residing, to make sure that their parents are enlightened, the children themselves are better sensitized and assured that
Bukola,
there's nothing wrong with them going to school, because that place is, hello?
Yes, I mean, we are totally out of time, but maybe just in 20 seconds or less, there's that controversy around...
It's actually drizzling here too.
Oh my word. So just before we let you go, I know it's a big day as well in Oyo State. The handover, I'm not sure if it's a ceremony now, but walk us through what exactly are walk us through that handover yesterday. How did it play out?
What?
The handing over, how did it play out yesterday?
Well, it was actually seamless.
All right.
They moved very late in the night, of course, guarded with very heavy security. And by the time they got to LAUTECH, I learned that the Shawo of Bomosho, was at hand to receive them. And of course, their parents were there, to rejoice with them, to be sure that their children were there. The only downside we had was Deacon John Olaleye's wife, who unfortunately just heard that her husband was also killed in captivity during the broadcast by the governor, because she actually thought the man was returning with them. So that was just the dampening moment, that people had yesterday. But apart from that, it was seamless.
Bukola, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate you. We'll keep tab with you for any development as far as this is concerned.